Hi guys, good morning. I hope you're able to hear me. So in the last session, we have seen how we can apply the filter function and where in order to restrict the data based on your requirement. Let me start my cluster, then we'll continue the session. It takes a minute. Still it is going on. First, I need to have a data frame. Somewhere we have created a data frame. I'm just going to re-execute that particular case. So here, but I'm going to take, I need the CMP underscore DF data frame in order to go further. So empty 10 DF is created based on this task 10 DF. Still, it is not yet started. Now cluster is available. Let's execute this cell. Now data frame is created here, and out of that particular data frame, I'm going to create a emp underscore data frame. So that I'm going to use in our further discussion. So still I wanted to do few more things here as part of this. I wanted to regard this is commission is null, and I wanted to show you is not null. Is not null also is available here. And this is a SQL standard. Okay, so if you wanted to go for there is a function called is null function. Let me do this in a different approach. emp underscore df dot where. So I can say df emp underscore df dot commission is null. So I can use this option also in order to get the data for only if commission is null. Okay, so this function is available in how to import this function if I'm correct. Commission column name. So case sensitive. Let's try executing again. Okay, so we are able to see, and if I say show, then it is going to show the data for commission is null. You can see it. And we have another option even for the same thing. I wanted to say is not null also is available. You can say is not null in order to show this. And somewhere we have seen if the person who is not eligible restricted data, somewhere we have seen the range of the data here. Okay, so get employee details if they are getting salary between 1,000 and 3,000. Somewhere we have seen that. Here is the one. Eligible for commission or not. This is file. This is for 6. Okay, so this one I wanted to say with the negative also, negative operation. The people who are not eligible for this, I wanted to say let's say make this 7. So get employee details if they are not getting salary between 1,000 and 3,000. So same to same, we are going to have it. Let me make this comment. So I'm just going to write the condition here. In this place, I'm just going to give it for the negative option. Let me make this as a 7. emp underscore df where emp underscore df dot salary greater than 1000 and emp underscore df dot salary less than, let's go with the equals also 3000. So greater than or equal to, and let's say so. Okay, so basically you have to treat this entire thing as one condition. You bring that into one braces, and this is going to be one condition. Now you just try with AND operator. Let's go with the AND symbol. The way we have written condition here, we don't write the condition in the same way. Let me take this, even this approach also, I will try to do it. So to get this excluding, we have to give the tilt here. So this is a logical not operator. Okay, so excluding that particular range, it is going to get, you can see. And terminated. Okay, let me start again. For some reason, it was disconnected. Let me write few more exercises here. Let employee details. If they are hired in the year of 2023, Now cluster is ready and need to create again data frame here. This one I need to execute because you're not going to have a data frame. Let's execute this. Let's create a EMP data frame. Then I'm just going to re-execute this statement here to get excluding that particular range. Now you can see excluding that range, I'm getting the data here because we have used this. Now I wanted to do one more thing. And yeah, so here I'm just trying to give in front of this, will it allow or not? I'm just trying to check this. Keep this entire thing in the bracket. Now try executing. Okay, unary operator. Let's try again. Okay, so I'm just going to say salary greater than. So I'm just showing the different options, what exactly we're having. Greater than or equal to 1000 and salary less than or equal to 3000. And let's try executing this. You can see the same result, 800, 15, 5000, and this one greater than or equal to 1000 and less than or equal to 3000. But here something different I was seeing the numbers. So here it is giving only 2 records. Okay, so it is applying for only this. To make this apply for everything, this entire thing should be there in another bracket. Okay, so because of that reason, there is a slight difference in the result. Now it is correct. Okay, so in these two approaches, you can go. If you are not in a position to remember this, then can just think about SQL, how we can write a logical not operator in SQL. The same thing you can just take directly and use that in a SQL side. Let me show you so that you can understand. Select star from employee, where just paste this. close this brace and execute it. Okay, so whatever you have written here, the same thing, you can just keep it in a where in a double quote. That's all. If it is working, whatever the condition is working, take that condition, keep it in a where clause in a double quote so that you are going to get it. Okay, so it's very simple to handle it. Now the next one is eighth one. Eighth one is saying if they joined in the year of 2023, then I wanted to bring it. So for 2023, what you can do it here, you can just take, you can go with the date column, but I'm just going to use the year of hire date equals to 2023. If I execute this, you're getting this result. Let's take the same thing into this place. Let's take a 8. emp underscore df dot where, and you can just keep that in a single double quote, and here you have to give it two equals operator here dot show just try to see will it work or not. Why it is getting terminated? Guys, able to hear me? Can you please confirm able to hear me? So there is some network drop. Because multiple times this cluster is going off. Let's wait for 1 more minute. Now it is available. Again, I have to execute from the top. This cell. So when the cluster is terminated, then you have to do it again. So if it is a Azure Databricks, we don't have any problem. We can restart directly. But of course, execution is common. Now, if I execute this, will you get data for 2023? Yes, all employees are related to 2023. The same thing you can do it in a different way. I mean to say pure Python standard, you can do it. emp underscore df dot where. So here I'm going to have a df underscore hire date. So that one we can use a function called year function, year of hire date. emp underscore df dot hire date equals to 2023. So when you execute this, it is going to get an error because this year function is not going to be available here. We need to import that. To import it, we're going to use import from PySpark dot SQL dot functions import year. So only here is going to be imported. If you wanted to import all the functions, you can import it. Now, if you execute, it is going to show the data for 2023. Okay, so if you wanted to make this excluding 2023, then in front of this, we can keep a tilde symbol here. Not logical, not operator. It is going to show excluding 2023. What happened? You have to keep this entire thing in the brace. Now you can see. Okay, so as per the statement, we can just take only for 2023. And one more I wanted to give the final one. You can try whatever you wanted to apply the filter base. Okay, so get employee details. If the employee names are started with S. Employee names are started with S, then I wanted to bring it. Let's make this comment. Let's say 9. emp underscore df dot. You can write in a SQL way also. Okay, so in order to do this, we already talked about in SQL left function. If you remember, ename comma 1 equals to yes. Now, if you execute this, it is going to get the data. The same, you can just keep in a take a copy of this where inside the double quote, we just keep this one and I'm just going to say dot show. Let's execute it. Now you can see there is a two records on Smith and Scott. Okay. You can write in that particular approach or other approach. I'm just trying to show emp underscore df where emp underscore df dot ename dot starts with. I'm just going to say lowercase s. Let's say show. No records are coming. Okay, so if you give only uppercase, then it is going to give it. Okay, so to avoid all these things, what you can do is, even if there is a lowercase, still I wanted to get it. So before going to check the starts with, I wanted to go for upper dot, sorry, lower dot. Now let's try lower or lowercase. Let me check this. Print of name dot lower is taken. The same thing I'm just taking here also. Column object is not eligible. I'm just trying to check something. So lower function is not allowing. So let me try in this way. Lower of df underscore emp underscore df dot ename. Okay, so we can do it, but I need to do some work around here. So let's apply only filter for emp underscore df dot where I wanted to say emp underscore df dot ename dot starts with. So lower is not coming. You can see here in the data frame it is not available. Okay, so because of that reason, maybe it is too lower. So these are all the functions I have. Now where I can see. Okay, that's fine. So lower function is not directly available here. Okay, so because of that reason, it is not allowing. But starts with is available. If we go here, you can see starts with is available, so we can do it. Okay, so I wanted to say only starts with, let's say s dot so. So in this particular case, even if you have a lowercase, it is going to give if you write in this approach. Okay, so whatever you feel easy that we can take it. So this is about how we can apply filters if you wanted to apply the filters in the data frame. Okay, so any questions as of now? I'm just keeping unmute yourself. Any question? Okay, so let's move forward. A few more things I wanted to talk about it. If I wanted to add a columns to the data frame, how you can add the columns to the data frame? Okay, so let's say for example, let me say here, emp underscore df dot show is having some data. Okay, so various options are there, guys, in order to write a column. Okay, so I have a higher date. I wanted to get the year from this. I wanted to get the year from this higher date. Okay, so I just wanted to say task number. What is the task here? 17, 18. Task 18. Create a columns to show year month and day numbers from higher date. Okay, so if this is the requirement, if we have, then how exactly you can handle it? So we already having employee data frame, and this is higher date I'm having. I wanted to import the functions first. Okay, so from PySpark .sql .functions import star. So I'm going to import all of them. Okay, so now I wanted to create a columns. If you want to create a columns, there is a function called with column. With column is a function. It is used to add a new columns, add a new column to the not existed. It is going to add a new column to the and creates new data frame. Okay, so basically here everywhere we are going to have a new data frame only. Okay, so it is not going to add to the existed. It is always going to have a data frame, a new data frame, because it is a immutable. Okay, so we already talked about the immutable feature as part of even RDD. So RDD or data frame both are same only. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to add a new column to get the year. Let's say for example emp underscore df dot with the column I wanted to go with column. The column name I'm just going to say in double quotes, that is year comma, and then you can provide year of, the definition is emp underscore df dot higher date. Now let me show with the show function. Let's execute it. Now you can see the year column here. Okay, if you want to keep the column right after your higher date, if you wanted to keep that right after higher date, you can go, you can use the select function here again. In select, you can specify employee number, e-name, job, mgr. I don't need mgr, just take out that higher date, and then year, then salary, then commission, then department. Now if you say dot show, it is going to get the data after that. Now you can see after higher date we have a year column. Okay, so this with column is just to add a new column at the end of the all the columns basically. Okay, so if you want to get in a specific position, then after that we have to use the select function. We already know about the select function, how we can take a required columns. Okay, so if you want to take out any of the column, you can take out it. Okay, it all depends. In the same way, I wanted to get, I'm just taking out all these things here. Okay, we have seen how we can add a data frame here, right? So here, I mean to say here we have seen, and I'm just taking out this column just for space purpose so that I can easily comment here. Now I wanted to add year, month, and day all together. Okay, so if that is the case, with the column itself is going to give only for only one column you can add it. Okay, so multiple times you have to apply it. To avoid this with column multiple times, then we can directly use the select expr. We already seen that select expr is going to help us to do it. Okay, so just observe here. First, what you have to do is I'm just going to say df1 equals to, and just copy and paste up to here. Dot show, not show. Df1 dot show. Let's execute it. Now you can see it, right? Now what I wanted to do is you'll get the data frame, right? I don't think again it will allow with column. It will not allow. So you have to say again, df1 is having this year column, and df2 you have to create df2 equals to same. I'm just going to take a copy of this. This time I need a month. You can take month of hire date, and df2 if you see df2 dot show, you can have a month number also. So month number is available. The same way df3 we have to create. So here I'm just going to say day of, and if you go for df3 dot show, okay, day is not PySpark dot SQL dot functions dot day of month. Yeah, it's a day of month. Okay, so let's execute this. Now I can see the day of month here. Okay, so that is fine. So in some places there may be some function name different, but you can feel that. Okay, so how exactly they're going to be there. So this is how you have to write in order to get all these things, right? If you wanted to get the same order, the order that we specified here after the month, if you wanted to get it. So in df3, we are going to use the select function. Okay, so here, and I'm just going to say a month. I'm going to say a day. Now, if you execute it, risk what happened? Something is missed. Column names may be changed. Hire date, month, day, salary, department number. Year cannot be resolved. It is not available. Somewhere it is missed. So it's not a df empdf. So df1 is created on this, and df here you have to take df2. No, df1 here. And here it is a df2. Now it will work. Okay, so like this you can do it. So this many steps you have done, but if you use the select expr, the same thing you can do it in a different way. Let me take a copy of this, paste it here, and do it with select XPR. Okay, so when you go with the select XPR, then it is very simple. We can see emp underscore df dot select expr. I need employee number. Okay, so I'm just going to take the same order of the columns. So hire date up to here, I don't have a problem, but here we have a problem, right? In this particular case, I'm just going to say year of hire date as, we can go with this. And for month also, I'm just going to say month of hire date as month. And we can use the SQL standard, a day of hire date as day. Now, if we say dot show, then you can get the data. So this is much more easier. So when you're adding a columns, instead of going with column, you can go with the select expr. So it is going to gives much more flexibility than that. Okay, so that is one thing I wanted to say. Now I wanted to say the list of columns for this data frame. Okay, so for that, I wanted to say this is task 19. Task 20 is get list of columns from the data frame. So in order to get the list of columns from the data frame, then how you can get it, that I wanted to say. We have a emp underscore df dot columns. Let's execute it. You can see there is a columns are there in the list. Okay, so if you see the type of this, let me say print of this as well as type of list. That means this data frame dot columns is going to give the list of columns. Now I have the columns is like this. What type of data it is? It is list. So I wanted to print them one by one. So if you want to print one by one, then we can use emp underscore df dot columns is going to give the list of columns, and we can iterate this loop by using for I in list of columns. We already seen this kind of thing. Print of I is going to give all the list of columns one by one is going to print. So it's up to you. However you wanted to print the data, you can print it. I wanted to say the number of records in the data frame. Get number of records from the data frame. So in order to get the number of records from the data frame, we are going to use the function called count function. It is used to get number of records in the data frame. So we can say this data frame dot count. Data frame dot count. Now I just wanted to say emp underscore df dot count is going to give the number of records. Okay, so I wanted to sort my data. Let's take a copy of this. Let's make this as a 21. Apply sorting operation on salary. So in order to do this, we have a function called sort function. You can use sort function, or you can use order by also. Order by is also there. So it is used to sort the data based on requirement. So not only this function, we can have a order by function also. So both are going to do the same thing. I'm just going to say sort. So here I'm going to give the salary. Let's say show. So ascending order you can see here. Okay, and if you wanted to go for a descending order, then it's a default order. And if you need any specific order, then we can specify specific order means descending order. Okay, so emp underscore df dot sort a salary descending. Let's say show. Okay, you may not go for this option. Emp underscore df dot salary. Let me execute up to here, and then dot descending order. Now you can see from highest to lowest, you can see lowest to highest, you can see the data here. Okay, so the same thing you can do it with let me keep separate here. This is 22. Instead of going with the sort, I'm just going to take order by. So here you can use just order by. And try to execute up to here, and will you get or not, just observe data is getting. And try for this also. So order by and sort both are much more similar. You can see. Okay, so however you want, you can just what we can say, we can sort the data, depends on your requirement. Get only first record from the data frame. So if you wanted to get only first record from the data frame, then how we can get is, there is a function called data frame dot first. It is used to get first record from the data frame. Now emp underscore df dot first, and if I just want to execute this dot show, then you can see the first result in the form of row. What is this? Okay, so you cannot use the show function here because that is not a data frame. Let me execute up to here only. You can see the row object, it is available here. Okay, so I wanted to store this result in a variable first underscore row equals to. Now I wanted to see the type of this. Type of first row is going to be row object. You can see here. Now I wanted to create a data frame for this particular row object. We can create a data frame from the row object also. We have seen we can create a data frame with local object except row. Now we are going to see the with the row also spark dot create data frame. I'm just going to pass this row object in the list because it will take a list only, right? In the form of list only it is going to take. You have to keep inside the braces and you have to pass these values. Now if I say dot show some types cannot be used. Okay, let's say EMPDF only, right? So in EMPDF, we have created some schema. I wanted to use that particular schema. The schema name, I'm just trying to collect it. Okay, let me keep our own data type. I mean to say whatever the data types we have used. Okay, now this is perfect. Okay, so from the first row also we can create it. And we have used the same schema, right? So since we have already schema existed for this particular first row, I'm just utilizing that. Okay, so first function is just to take the first record from the data frame. Okay. And apart from that, even you can also use the head function. There is a head function to specify number of records. Here it is taking only one record. If I wanted to take few more number of records, let's say get specified number of records from the data frame. So if this is the case, then you can use data frame dot head function and you can pass n here. It is used to get specified number of records. Specified number of records we are going to get. Now I wanted to say emp underscore df dot head. You can specify 5 and then show. Just observe. We'll see will it work. So will not work if I'm correct. Rows only it is going to give. Row object only it is going to be created. And here we have a previously when I see first row that is not having this brace. Okay, so here I just wanted to say I wanted to give some name for this head underscore 5 underscore rows is the variable. Now I can use the data frame because this is not much readable, right? So we can just for readability only I'm just doing this. Okay, so df underscore head underscore 5 equals to uh, spark dot data frame spark dot create data frame. So here you can pass head underscore 5 rows and then a schema we have taken, right? The same schema I'm just taking from here. Now dot show. So like this you can see it. Okay, so there is a function called describe. describe basic statistics of a data frame. So if we have this kind of thing, then we can say data frame dot describe. It is used to get basic statistics of for numerical calculations, numerical columns or calculations. It's okay. And we are already having emp underscore df dot describe. Let's execute it. Spelling mistake. Now let me display this instead of going with this display of now you can what is this? Yeah, so this is correct. Okay, so statistics details are there. What is the mean standard deviation for each and every column? But that will be helpful for only the numeric columns. So if you have a numeric columns and if you wanted to see that, then you can use that. Okay, so I'm stopping here and I'm going to continue the rest of the things on tomorrow. If you have any question, you can ask me. Okay, then we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for that.